Hi, welcome back to Coldstream Rod Shop. I'm Derek Fraser. Going to go over tonight what we've been doing to wire up the 32 Ford pickup. I've been working at it for about a week or so off and on. As I said in previous episodes, sometimes my daytime job takes up a lot of my time, but I've managed to install the wiring harness into the pickup cab. Going to go over to the bench and I'm going to talk about the different harnesses. In the past, I've used the Speedway kit, which when you get it, it looks like this, a 20 circuit wiring kit. That's what I put in the Model A. It was relatively straightforward to do. There's lots of good pictures. The instructions are really good with that kit. But this time out, because a couple friends use the Easy wiring kit, I decided to buy the EZ 20 circuit wiring kit. Now, to be honest with you, for a simple hot rod, you really don't need the 20 wire kit, the 20 circuit kit that is, because you're not going to need power door locks or necessarily power windows or a whole bunch of those options that you wouldn't use. So really, the 12 circuit kit would have been adequate. But if you want to do the 20 circuit kit, what you do is all those little pieces you would just curl up into a little loom or whatever and put a wire around it and save it up underneath the dash. So when I got my kit, basically what you do, like I said, you'll have something like this. I'll use the Speedway picture. We have the fuse block, and then all of the different sections are labeled. So we'll go over into the pickup here. Well, maybe I'll go from this side and the camera lady will go from the other side. So up underneath the dash, one of the first things I did was mount the fuse block up there. From there are different sections that come out of it. There's the dash, the gauge kit, which has got all the wires labeled. Then there's also a steering column kit. So if you're using a GM steering column, a couple of things. The kit actually will adapt itself to an ignition key on the steering column, as well as the high and low beams. In my particular case, all I had was the turn signals and the four-way flashers. So I followed the instructions and basically hooked up my my light switch is right here. So it's pretty, every single wire is labeled as to where it goes, so it's pretty straightforward that way. The whole thing is, though, is to lay it out and put the front section out to the front, put the back section out. So here, you can see I've got two looms here. One of them is actually going to the back lights, and the other one here is going down to my neutral safety switch. There's a backup light switch and then over to the brake switch. So that's coming through this column. So I like to use this plastic covering just to protect the wires so it's not chafed or anything. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so I'll show you out back. So that one runs down there, and I ran it through this loom here out to the back. So here's all the wires. And like I said, every one of them is labeled, left backup. Oh, sorry about that. So you can see onto them. The kits come pretty wired. It's pretty simple and straightforward to do.
Not picking it up.
Oh, sorry. It's on there. We'll take a picture and insert it. Also, the connection for the fuel sending unit. So that's the back one. Once I have the lights on, I'll hook those up. Over in the front, what I did on my 32 firewall, because I cut it there's a section here. I knew ahead of time. I actually left a hole there. So I've got wires, got two looms coming down there. This one here, if you follow it down, comes all the way to the front. And then here's the wires for my turn signals and my headlights out front. Then on the other side, I've got the stuff coming to the engine. So I've got one that's going to, I've got one's coming up to the choke, it's going down to the back to the oil pressure sending unit. There's one going to the temperature sending unit. This red wire will go to my alternator. This is going to go to the fan in the front. And then there's my two wires, the tack and then the power to the coil. And then this wire here is going to come down and it's going to hook up to my solenoid right there. And then the starter will be installed. So again, don't be intimidated by the kits. You just got to take the time to lay them out, make it neat, and connect the wire where it says to. The other key thing when you're wiring, absolutely positively make sure that all your lights are grounded. So if you've got a continuity tester, put your light on there, check that it's got a good ground, make sure you've got 1 or 2 grounds going to your engine block and that it's actually grounded to the frame. Make sure your firewall, your body are grounded to the frame and check them, test them, make sure it's a good ground. Another tip for connections and stuff, if you have one of these, throw it out. It's no good. It will not crimp things very well. Get yourself one of these ratcheting type crimpers. If you're using these solid plastic ones, basically it goes on there. There's no wire into it, but it really does a nice crimp. Better still, if you can get the ones with the shrink tubing on the ends, again, crimp them with the ratcheting crimper, and then just use a little heat gun to shrink the pockets around the back of the wires. But invest in one of these and don't use one of these. Another good tool for stripping, get yourself a good wire stripper. Most of these things can be bought at Harbor Freight or in Canada at Princess Auto or any results in the world. It really saves a lot of time. That's it. It's pretty simple and straightforward. The looms I bought, I just picked up at a Napa store. You can buy them in a bag, the different sizes for protecting the wires. And then get yourself lots of zip ties to basically hold everything together. That's it for what we did with the wiring. The other stuff that I've done on the car since the last episode was I actually hooked up the steering column and the gas pedal is hooked up now. That was a kit I think I bought off of eBay. The one I have on the Model A was a low car one, but it's pretty simple, straightforward. It comes with a braided steel line here that you basically cut to the right length. There's a grommet that goes through the firewall. And here, I'll just demonstrate. It's pretty straightforward to install. Grab the flashlight. I think I left it over here. So yeah, there's the gas pedal installed. I've got the tunnel installed back on here. I'm going to get a couple more screws to hold it in place. Another thing, the dimmer switch. I've got to go pick up a dimmer switch, but essentially I'll put that here, and then I'll put some of that black plastic shielding over the wires, and then tack it up nice and neat over on the side. The two remaining wires hanging here, one is for a cigarette lighter, but of course it's not a cigarette lighter anymore these days, it's an accessory thing. I'll hook that up. And then also the other wire left there is going to be for the heater and defrost that we're going to be installing here. This little button here is for the speedometer. It's a programmable electronic speedometer. There's a pattern that you have to press the button on to set it. I've got the electronics descending unit attached up to the transmission underneath. That came with these Dolphin gauges. I think that's it. That's what we've been up to. It's taken quite a bit of time because I really wanted to pay a lot of attention to where I'm running the wires so there's no interference with anything moving. The wire looms don't come anywhere as close to anything hot. There's still more to do, but the basics, the nuts and bolts of it are in there. If you have any questions, send us an email, send us a message. I'll be answered as quick as I can. But that's it for now. Everybody take care. Hopefully you had a great Christmas, and look forward to doing more videos in the new year. Thanks again. Take care, everybody.